Good morning. Hope you're having an awesome Tuesday so far. Stick around. We're going to make it better.
Awesomer.
Awesomer than that.
It may be 8 a.m. in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, but it's always 4:45 in Sault, Michigan. That's a good one, hey?
Well done.
That's our sponsor for the whole month. They sponsored our show. We're so grateful. They're on Ashland Street in downtown Sault Ste. Marie, 4:45, where everything in the store starts at $5 and it goes down in price until it hits a quarter at the end of the week. Amazing deals. Check it out.
It's kind of like our show.
It goes down. By Friday, it's discount entertainment.
Yeah, it's Blaze Watch. Blaze.
What's going on?
Big news in the entertainment world. Director John Singleton passed away. He was so young. He did Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. That was a while ago.
Yeah, a long time ago, and has done a lot of stuff since that.
I wasn't really familiar with him.
No, me neither.
Did you find out how he passed away?
He had a stroke last Wednesday.
Oh, he was on life support, wasn't he?
And yeah, he was on life support, and his family had to decide yesterday or the day before, I guess.
In his 50s
to take him. Yeah, he was only 51. Imagine.
What a shame.
Oh my word. Like, how horrible to make that decision.
Hey.
Ever.
People do it every day.
Every day.
What would you have, what would you think if you were somebody who were on, if you.
Oh, I've thought about it.
What would you want Jim to do?
Oh, don't even put me on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like unless you can donate my organs.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm big on organ donation, like skin, tissue, eyeballs, whatever you need.
Take what you need.
Yeah. But
you're not going to use it.
Yeah, don't keep me on there.
No.
Jim is like, do not even put that tube down my throat.
We've had guests on the show about organ donation, and there's a new way of doing it. Just the back of your license isn't the way anymore. Now there's a new way of doing it. You just go online, I believe, and you can register.
There's an Ontario website.
You go to.
Just Google Ontario organ donation.
Chances are you're watching us on a laptop or a phone right now, so why not do that right after you get off? Just go and donate your organs and save a life.
You know what? When I was in radio still, I co-hosted the morning show here, and our fellow co-hosts in Sudbury, Rich and Gary, Rich died suddenly.
Oh no.
He was very, very young. I think Zoe was about 5 at the time. And he was very popular, him and his co-host in Sudbury. And his wife donated his organs. She had to keep him sustained for 5 days.
So they could farm the stuff out?
Yeah,
really? It's a horrible term to use, but that's exactly what it is.
So imagine the kindness and the torture.
The bravery of that woman.
Right? To sit and to hold his hand and just, and it ended up he saved 8 people. 8 people.
See what we can do. And we've had guests on the show. We've had people with, although we've had people with kidneys, which you don't have to pass away to donate a kidney, but you can. And livers, you can give your liver while you're alive too.
Yeah, just a chunk. You don't want mine, but
they grow back. Like within a number of years, your liver grows back. So
we're like worms. Cut one in half and he grows his tail back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's a tough situation. I think it's really important to have that conversation.
Have that conversation with your loved ones.
Yeah.
Hey,
absolutely.
Michael, thank you. Good for you. Isn't that great? He's brought up you can just click on there, you can find that website, no problem. Thanks.
So
Mike.
easy to do. Make it official.
Yeah.
And then there's no question.
Hey, remember we were talking about Prime Minister Trudeau and his appearance on The Simpsons, a whole Canadian episode that aired.
Canada.
It aired.
Did it? Did you watch it?
No, I didn't, but there was a lot of controversy.
Oh, really?
Well, I guess I think the storyline goes that The Simpsons come to Canada and that Lisa is very, very Lisa doesn't like the US of A because of what's happening with ignoring all these issues, social issues, because Lisa's a real activist on The Simpsons, right?
She's the daughter.
She's the daughter, and she's the one who's really concerned about the environment and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, she's saying, Canada's so great, why can't it be more like Canada? And I guess this episode points out that Canada has its flaws too.
Oh yeah.
Like the tar sands and all this kind of stuff. But one of the things they talk about are the seals. So as it turns out, there was a guy, his name was Sam Simon. Unfortunately, Sam passed away in 2015, but 5 years ago he traveled to Newfoundland and Labrador, and he advocated for the ceasing of the seal hunts.
Right.
And he actually offered $1 million to Newfoundland and Labrador sealers to tell them to give up your careers, give up your livelihood, and stop the hunt of the baby seal hunt.
I remember that.
Do you remember
I didn't remember his name, but I remembered.
So he was on the staff of The Simpsons, that guy. So anyway, yeah, he was one of the,
Really?
Sam Simon. He was a co-creator of The Simpsons.
Get out of here.
So this was a real thing, and apparently the ill will has not subsided because on the Canadian episode of The Simpsons, they say, oh no, we're not always nice to each other. She says, you treat everyone with respect, and someone says, not the Quebecois. And then another character says, and not the Newfies, and they all go, stupid Newfies. So they say stupid Newfies, and then Ralph Wiggum, the little Wiggum kid, takes out a baseball bat and says, I'm a stupid Newfie, and he clubs to death a stuffed baby seal until the head falls off and the stuffing falls out. And then he starts kicking it around like a soccer ball and singing a Newfoundland song, puts it on his head and wears it like a hat. So there's been a lot of contention about that.
You know what? Shame on you, Simpsons. Like, seriously. You know
there
what?
There he is wearing the stuffed baby seal head on his hat. On his head like a hat. And he sings a Newfoundland
song. You know what? I think that's cheap. I think it's a cheap shot. I think, you know what? If you think that little of Canada, do not do an episode on us. Seriously. Do you want us to do an episode on just Americans?
There's a guy named Bruce Moss. He's a singer-songwriter. He wrote the song "The Islander." It's a great, catchy tune. I heard it today. Anyway, he was approached by The Simpsons and offered $20,000 if they would license that song for use on the show. He said no. And he said after seeing the episode, is he ever glad he didn't do it?
Yeah, no
I'm not sure what the song is that little Ralph Wiggum sings there, but it's a catchy little Newfie tune. Newfie. Is that even a bad word now?
Well, I guess you'd have to ask a person from Newfoundland.
I don't think I like the word Newfie.
I don't think. I think that people who use it don't always use it in a positive manner. So whether it's okay to say, according to a Newfoundlander, maybe isn't the point, because you could say you're a goof, and that could mean something awesome. But if you're not intentioned to mean something awesome,
I've told you what that word means in modern slang.
Yes.
It's a prison term. It's not nice.
It's not a nice prison term. So there you go, right?
But you didn't know that until I told you.
That bugs me about The Simpsons. Shame on you.
Shame on you, Simpsons.
Don't come here and highlight everything wrong unless you're going to balance it.
Balance it.
You know what? Shame on you. I don't watch that show.
And now you're not gonna.
No, when it first came out, my kids were really, really small. In the first episode, Bart picked his nose, and it was a big joke in the family, and blah blah blah. And he does whatever he does with it. And I was trying to teach my kids not to pick their nose, so I said, "Yeah, we're not watching this."
It's not meant for children anyway.
No, it isn't.
That was when people realized, oh, cartoons aren't necessarily for kids.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because my first thought was, oh, cartoon, evening, good. Calm them down, get them to bed. No. And now, from picking his own nose to putting down Canada, shame on you.
Luann.
Boycott Simpsons.
Boy, oh boy, did I trigger you.
Oh, I don't like that.
You're so honest, which is good because today is National Honesty Day.
There you go.
You were very honest. It's also National Hairstyle Day.
Uh-oh.
Hairstyle.
Well, I got one for one.
Hairstyle appreciation. You're cute. National Honesty Day because it's the opposite of April Fool's. It's the last day of April.
I didn't know that.
And it's also the anniversary of the first inauguration of the first president of the United States, George Washington. He was the first, wasn't he? 1789, yeah. And he was the one who could never tell a lie. Remember that?
Yes, yeah, and the cherries. He liked the cherry.
But only be honest if it doesn't hurt someone's feelings, I think.
Well, you can always be honest, and I think that some people who are just intentionally rude, when you hear somebody start a sentence, I don't mean to be rude, but... Or say to them, well then don't.
Or this. All I'm saying is...
Yeah. I'm just being honest. You know what? Honest. You can totally be honest. You can find a nice way to put it. So there. Wow! I'm just on fire today.
Let me cheer you up.
Okay.
1952. It was the first toy advertisement on television. Can you guess what the first toy was advertised on TV in 1952?
A hula hoop?
Mr. Potato Head.
No, wow, he's old.
Which is the dumbest toy ever.
You know what? Every kid loves it.
I had him.
Did you?
Yeah, I had the mustache and putting all. I don't know.
I used to put the mustache on his head because he was bald. I just did. Yeah.
Oh, Luann, no wonder you have a problem with your eyebrows. So, listen. Just kidding.
My unibrow.
Oh no, you don't.
I only have one problem.
I have to do that. I have to go in between.
Well, yeah, guys do. They don't.
Well, no,
realize.
not just there. It goes all the way down. If I don't pluck here and shave here, it goes all the way around. I have a big circle when I grow a beard.
Right, and then you got the hair nose and the ear nose. Oh, and
I
the
know,
ear
Mr.
hair.
Potato Head. Hey, great show today. We've got a couple of really interesting things. Some students that are award winners in a competition, and they're going on to the regionals. And then also, we talked about this yesterday off air with the guest. It's perinatal illness. So that's basically postpartum depression has now been called perinatal illness, and you're going to want to watch this. I learned so much. And Luann has the news.
I do.
All that coming up on Mornings with Luann and Tim.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Listen to them. Children of the night. Alive! It's alive!
At 4:45, discover all kinds of treasures and never pay more than $5. Inventory is restocked every Saturday, and you can find anything from electronics to household items, toys, and much, much more. On Saturday, everything is $5 and the price goes down throughout the week, ending with 25 cents on Friday. We restock weekly with new items from various big box stores, so you never know what treasures you can find. Come visit us at 4:45, 2510 Ashman Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan.
Half of the world's population are mobile phone users. Cell phones are everywhere and seem to be used all the time, even when doing things that require our full attention. If only you would put your phone down and keep your head up, that could have been avoided. Phone down, head up, for your safety and the safety of others around you.
Brianna took a tumble. Brianna Vernache, nice to have you here, and Nikita Johnson, two students from White Pines Collegiate and Vocational School. So, ladies, it was Skills Ontario?
Yes.
A competition, television, video?
Yeah, TV and video. Yeah,
okay.
production.
So, and you came in first place at this competition.
We did.
You did. And that's at the regional level. Next for you is the provincial level. Let's go back to the beginning. So, how did you first hear about the Skills Ontario competition?
Well, last year a teacher brought it to my attention because he knew that it was around my interests.
Go ahead, give him a plug. Which teacher?
Mr. Calvano and Mr. Carlucci.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so Mr. Calvano is sort of the head of the program, right? And Mr. Carlucci is a teacher there? Great.
Yeah.
So they told you about Skills Ontario. What'd they say?
Well, I can't really remember exactly, but it was about like, hey, there's this competition. It's it's a great opportunity. It's TV and video.
Were you taking a class in TV and video at the time, or they just knew you had an interest in it?
I think I had an e-learning for photography and media.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they figured you'd be a good candidate for the Skills Ontario thing, for the contest.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. All right. So then, what did you have to do to get into it last year? This is last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there was just we had to write our storyboard and send it in ahead of time.
Okay.
Because there was a few schools that wanted to come.
All right.
And then they said we got the okay, we registered, and that was.
And you went down with a partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you and he did pretty well. Third place?
Yeah, we placed third for the regionals.
Third place for the regionals. Did that entitle you to go on to the provincials then from there?
Yes, it
So
did.
you did the provincials last year.
Mm-hmm.
And
we got bronze.
Out of how many teams?
Around 30.
Holy smokes, Nikki, that's fantastic. So fast forward, this year you decide, I'm going back.
Oh yeah, I want to go for the gold.
You had a great time, great experience.
I did. It was very, very exciting.
So how did you hook up with Brianna over here?
Well,
Okay, so I'm more into the TV and video, or the picture taking
Still
part
photography
of it.
more? Okay.
So she had a partner already, and
Same guy from last year?
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
So he decided last minute that after you already signed up for it, that he couldn't do it anymore.
overwhelmed?
He had something for
Yeah,
for
he had a
cadets.
cadets
Too much
competition at the
going
same
on.
time.
Oh, conflict.
Way too busy.
Yeah.
So-
So I found out about a week before.
Wait, a week before you were supposed to go down or before you had to register?
Before we were supposed to go down. The
Holy-
day we had to register.
The day we had to register. So
Okay.
it sort of worked out though because our team dynamic works pretty good. We've been friends for a long time.
You two have been friends outside of school
Yeah.
or yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we met
So-
in grade 9.
Did you? Oh, okay, so you met at White Pines and you've been friends for the last 3 years because you're both in grade 12.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you say, yeah, count me in, I'll go.
Yep. Yeah. So
Okay, so now, before you go down there, did you know what the topic was going to, because what you had to do was create a public service announcement. Is that
Yes.
the deal? A 30-second public service announcement.
So they did tell us beforehand. Yeah.
And the subject was?
Cell phone distractions.
Which is exactly the video that we saw, right? So, before you go down prep work, you only had a week to get this together as a team.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
What did you have to, what was required of you to prepare before you even went down there?
So we had to have our production brief. So it's a 1 to 2 page little essay type write up.
Okay.
So they wanted like what TV channels could air our PSA, what our audience is geared towards, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And then we had to have our storyboard.
Yeah, for audience doesn't know storyboard, can you just explain what a storyboard is and how it works for someone who's working in film and television?
It's kind of like what I did. It was just little sketches, kind of like a guide of what I wanted each shot to look like.
What the shots to look like, and
Yeah.
also then what the content of the shots are, like what's being talked about,
Yeah, like
and how the story progresses.
yes.
Okay. Sorry, I asked you to do it and then I just took over. Bad that way. Anyway, okay, so you had to do the storyboard, you had to do the essay, what else?
And it was our script we had to
I had
have
to
as
do a
well.
screenplay. Yeah.
Okay, so now you get down there and you find, so it's a 30-second PSA and you start looking at your script again and what happened? How did it time out?
Uh-oh.
Well, we know that like a script 1 page is roughly 1 minute of screen time.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good to know. See, I'm learning from you. Go on.
Well, it turns out
I
we
never
had-
started in film and television. I started in theater. I know nothing about what I'm doing here. I could learn from you. Carry on.
Well, with that kind of screenplay math, I guess, our video was almost 3 minutes long.
I know that feeling too. Mm-hmm.
And it needed to only be 30 seconds.
What do you do then?
Well, we had to cut down like a lot of stuff, like
Obviously.
basically chop off all the fat until we just got down to like the bones of it, really.
Right. Do you hear that? I don't know. We've got construction going on next door. They're going to come through the wall. Wouldn't that be something? Honestly, live TV, folks. So you did the editing, and then you start shooting. You had to find locations.
Yes.
This is all pretty. How long do you have to put all this together when you're down there?
We had 3.5 hours.
Holy smokes! Isn't that terrifying?
It is. Lots of the competitions had a much more time. Like the welding and construction had about 5 hours to work on theirs.
Welding and construction. So when you go to down this, so Skills Ontario, no kidding, they're talking about welding construction through the wall. Every skill imaginable there's a competition for all these different skills?
Well, a lot of the tech and a lot of the trades, like there's hairstyling going on, computer programming,
Fashion and design.
animation, and then
Oh,
like
you mentioned
construction and
culinary arts
carpentry.
also, construction, so there's competitions in every one of those kinds of categories.
Yeah, and
pretty
they all go
exciting.
on at the same time.
Yeah.
At Canador.
Well,
Oh.
for the provincials, all in the same building.
Okay.
Yeah, in Toronto.
Oh, for the provincials. So this is the other thing. This region is one of 10. Like where you competed when you went down to North Bay, that was one of 10 regions. So all across the province on the same day, 10 different regions were having the very same kind of competition.
Yes.
Now you get to go and compete against the winners from those 10.
First, second, and third place from those competitions.
From those competitions. In Toronto?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then, if you do well there, first place would get you to?
First place would get us to Skills Canada.
Skills Canada.
In Halifax.
In Halifax. And if you do well there?
Well, then we're going to Russia.
World in Russia. Okay, so what was the key message about in the PSA? What was the key message that you want to get across to the audience?
Phones are distracting, and when you're looking down at your phone and not looking up, then you're gonna miss things, good or bad.
Right? Question: the learning element of being involved in the Skills Canada contest. Are you getting mentored, or are you receiving feedback from professionals in the industry? How do you know when you came in first? Did they explain to you why? Was there an opportunity to learn?
So what we did was we had about a 2-hour break between our award ceremony and when our competition was actually over.
Okay.
So he went through all of the videos with us, and he explained to us we didn't know our grades, we didn't know our places yet. So he went through what we did right, what we did wrong.
Yeah.
So it was interesting where we could see what other teams did as well.
Wow. So then it was like a master class, basically. He said, this is a good thing, this is not a great thing, this could have been done differently.
Yeah, we all sat in like a little half circle and looking at the little tiny computer screen.
Yeah.
Showed us all the videos, and then he's like, okay, this was really well done. This, maybe not so much.
Okay. So what's the future hold for the two of you? Grade 12, moving on. What are you up to, Nikita?
Well, I'm going to be going to Ryerson for film studies.
Amazing. That's an amazing. They have a great program at Ryerson.
Oh,
like
they
one of
do.
the best in the country.
Yeah, it was my first choice.
Good for you. And what about for you, Brianna?
Biomedical science at Brock.
Biomedical science.
I want to be a surgeon.
I want to be your friend. I want to congratulate you both on your success. Best of luck at the regionals.
Thank you.
So much.
Come back and tell me how it went.
Yeah.
If you create another,
Hopefully good.
do you get to create another PSA when you're down there? Is that how this works?
Well, the next one, I think it's good. I'm pretty sure we have to try to convince parents.
Yeah,
that
it's less
good
of a
career.
PSA. It's more of a 1 and 30-second video.
Oh, it's longer?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
We
this is
also
gonna
have
be
more
very
time
exciting.
for it.
Okay, I want you to come back, will you?
Yeah.
All right. Best of luck. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
And we'll be right back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this.
I need a new phone.
What do you use your phone for mostly?
Work, play.
Oh, you mean everything.
One that won't run out of battery when Joyce from accounting is doing the Running Man.
Who else wants to see that Running Man demo? The Samsung Galaxy Note 9. It's a great phone with a powerful all-day battery. We've got the best phone for you for a great price. And you can choose your carrier.
A little Running Man?
Just a little. There. Nice. I hope no one saw that. Whew. Where was she when I went phone shopping?
Have a great business idea but don't know where to start? Need help taking your business to the next level? C2C Business Services can be your guide in navigating the path of entrepreneurship, with services ranging from grant funding support, access to service experts, market information, and helping your business adopt new technologies to create and foster a culture of innovation for ongoing success. Call C2C Business Services and let them be your first step in taking your entrepreneurial dreams from concept to commerce. C2C Business Services is a division of the Sault Ste. Marie Innovation Center.
Drop by one of our 3 Sault Ste. Marie locations. You do life, we do taxes.
There's this thing thing I read in Today in History, which I don't think anybody should know about because it's going to say that climate change was already happening. You know how we say that climate change is causing all these?
Yes.
Okay, well, in 1888, Luann, there was a hailstorm as big as oranges.
Yee!
Killed 246 people.
What?
And 1,600 sheep and cattle.
Oh my word.
In northern India.
That's got to be stinky the next day.
Oh, can you imagine? But
wow.
But the flooding, now we have the flooding.
Yeah, the flooding is so scary. There are more military people in Ontario right now handling the flooding situation than they are actually overseas.
Really? Really? People kayaking into their living rooms in Quebec and that kind of stuff. Keith's film was on suspension for like 4 days. They couldn't access. The roads were all washed out.
Oh, no.
They were all sitting in their resort just waiting to go back to work. They couldn't get in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's force majeure.
Pardon?
Force majeure. It's like an act of God.
Oh.
So that means the insurance company.
Force majeure.
That's what she said. Okay, well. Force majeure.
You have to make that face, dude.
The Chrétien. Anyway, yeah, no, that's good because the insurance company then pays for the fact that hopefully that they can't film.
Well, yeah, it's not their fault. I mean, hey, Dr. Phil, like him, hate him.
Don't watch him, but is he the one who talks like this, Dr. Phil?
Yeah, and he's got his little puppy dog wife that jumps off her seat, follows him off the set.
I don't know that part.
Yeah.
What about Dr. Phil?
He's in some kind of trouble.
Dr. Phil's in some big trouble.
Yeah, he was talking about the bribery scandal for colleges. Felicity Huffman.
Lori Loughlin, yeah.
Yes. And he says, you know what? It's not about the money. He said it's not about buying the education. It's about buying the bragging rights. That's why the parents do it.
Oh.
And he says, nobody wants to say my kid's going to Slippery Rock. Well, there's actually a Slippery Rock University.
Oh.
So he was not happy.
No, they would not be happy
they thought, and then of course he felt like a goof he felt like
an idiot.
Ignorant person because he had no idea. So he very gracefully apologized and said, I had no idea that there was a school named that. He said, I was just trying to make a point and forgive me. He said, I've done some research and you guys, your records are awesome and hamana. So yeah, Felicity Huffman, by the way, her plea hearing is set for May 13th. Prosecutor, it was supposed to be later, but prosecutor is going to be out of town, so she has to come in and deal with that a little bit.
Then I also heard that Lori Loughlin's husband is facing more charges, as well as some other people, for even more of the, it's called, money laundering and stuff.
Oh.
More charges against him specifically, not Lori, I think, the husband.
Well, it's interesting how Felicity Huffman, too, was charged and her husband was
not.
Yeah, interesting. But you know what? Those girls probably have their own money. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe you could do that without your spouse knowing?
We wouldn't know any of this stuff if we couldn't look it up on the World Wide Web, would we?
That's right.
Which is a celebration today. It was first launched, the World Wide Web, 1989.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Not only 89. That seems pretty recent, doesn't it?
It does.
But it's not.
89.
1989.
And look at all the damage it's
done. Is that 30 years ago? It is. Look, I did the math.
Yeah, look at you. 30 years. That's all?
30 years of
Feels
WWW. And before that, it was just the World Wrestling whatever. Oh, that was WWF. Never mind me. But mind her. She's bringing the news next. And today's show is brought to you by 4:45. So stay tuned, Luann. I can't wait to hear what's going on. And Sault Ste. Marie.
We have all the details for you coming up right after this. Algoma Public Health's IT department has made progress in getting the agency back online. The parent-child information line is now operating. The sexual health information and appointment phone lines, though, are still unavailable. All other APH programs and clinics have been and will continue to run as scheduled unless otherwise notified. Staff emails are gradually being brought back online and are targeting full capacity before the end of this week. The City of Sault Ste. Marie is committed to implementing a comprehensive network of bicycle routes across the community that link key points of interest, employment, recreation, and residential areas. 4 of these routes are anticipated to be implemented this summer, including on parts of Pine, Queen, Willow Avenue, and Willoughby Wawanosh. City staff is hosting a public information session about the bike routes, and that's on Thursday, May 2nd from 4 to 7 p.m. at the John Rhodes Community Centre. The sessions will provide an opportunity to review and provide feedback on things like bicycle route dimensions, road conversions, on-street parking restrictions, signage, intersection configuration, and more. Sault Ste. Marie Fire Services encourages you to use caution when burning. With the spring season, of course, there is an increased potential for grass fires. With grass and brush starting to dry out now, it's very easy for fire to spread uncontrollably with a small amount of wind. Unattended burning is the most common cause of grass fires. Burning carelessly, along with improperly discarding cigarette butts, can also pose a hazard. An open-air burn permit must be obtained, which is only permitted in approved areas by a fire prevention officer. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Toyota's announcement that it will build the Lexus NX SUV at its Cambridge plant reaffirms the company's commitment to Canada.
This company understands what Canada brings to the table as we compete in a global marketplace. We have a highly educated, highly skilled workforce. Canadian manufacturing quality is second to none. And thanks to deals like NAFTA, CETA, and the CPTPP, we have preferential trade access to 2/3 of the global economy.
A Michigan mosque is taking measures to increase security due to what an official says is a downward spiraling trend of hate crimes and hateful rhetoric.
Every few years, hate crimes tend to go up and down, but in recent years, it has only been on an upward trajectory. So we noticed that this is not going to change anytime soon. So here at the Islamic Center, we've taken extraordinary measures to improve the safety and security. We now have a full-time security guard here at the door. This past Friday, we had the East Lansing Police Department come and offer us active shooter response training. The police is here to patrol at different times. Either we request it when we have high attendance, or they are here on their own.
When you support the Restore, it helps Habitat for Humanity build affordable housing for families. How does this work? New and gently used goods are donated to the Restore. The sale of these goods generate funds for building homes. For every $1 spent at the Restore, there is a $4 return on investment within our community. For example, Habitat homeowners have better educational outlook, increased employment stability, improved health, and reduction in the use of social services. Every donation and every dollar we receive through the Restore helps build sustainable housing for future homeowners. Everyone needs a foundation to build a future. To find out more and how you can help, drop by the Restore at 32 White Oak Drive or go to habitatsioux.ca.
As a nation, Canada has participated in all of the major world conflicts. In the Sioux area alone, over 10,000 men and women have enlisted in the Canadian Armed Forces. The Veterans Commemorative Monument aims to cement the legacy of the Canadian Armed Forces in stone. It will highlight the bravery, strength, courage, and sacrifice of our servicemen and women. In times of need, they volunteered to serve us. Now it is our time to thank and recognize their sacrifice. You can help honor our men and women of service by donating today to help construct this special, one-of-a-kind monument. Visit thosewhoserve.ca to find out how to donate and more.
With 3 brands to choose from Kawasaki, Suzuki, and CF Moto, visit one of our 4 showrooms today and speak with our knowledgeable, friendly, and enthusiastic staff who will be happy to help you with all of your motorsports needs.
Enjoy life, enjoy the ride. Bud Robinson Motorsports.
I wanna let go.
I just read something absolutely lovely. We know, of course, that Luke Perry passed away very suddenly a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago. Riverdale, the show that he was on, honored him. His daughter now, she's 18 years old, and she says that she has commissioned that a school in Malawi, is going to be named after her dad.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that lovely?
Did I just hear that Shannon Doherty has joined the reboot of 90210?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I think she said yes.
Because she was dead set against it.
I think she signed up.
Wow.
I have to double check that.
You know what? Bill Cosby.
What about him?
No, it's been a minute since
What
we talked
happened?
about
What's
him.
going on?
Well, he asked to be released on bail.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah. Judge says, no.
But he's in prison.
Cosby says that, or Cosby's lawyers say that there were errors made during the trial by the trial judge. And, they cite his age, his health, his lack of danger to the community. Well, if I was a female in his community, maybe now he might not be dangerous, but apparently at one point he was. So,
Yeah, so I know I broke the laws years ago.
But I was young.
It was a long time. I'm old now. Don't put me in jail. Come off it.
Yeah, like I said the other day, it's like they're finding these war criminals from World War II, and he was a Nazi guard and helped kill 6,000 people in one day, but he's 92, so leave him alone.
Let's let him go.
Absolutely not.
It's not enough that he's already got his own private, like he gets to eat alone, and he watches
Mr.
TV in his own little TV lounge, and oh boo-hoo Bill.
Yeah, sorry for you, Billy boy.
Billy boy.
Billy. Charlize Theron, speaking of that she was on the Howard Stern radio show, and she was talking about how back when she first auditioned, like she said, I might have been 19 or I was possibly 18. Her very, very first audition. She goes to this producer's house for the audition, a kid, she doesn't know any better. Guy answers the door, he's wearing his pajamas and he's barefoot. So, come on in, he's drinking like a sieve, and then he makes a move, and she gets up and walks out. Years and years later, he came to her with another job offer, and she said, he said, it's so nice to meet you. And Charlize said, we've met. And she totally reminded him about the situation.
I guess she didn't say yes to that contract.
No. And so the guy apparently was just like, hamana. She said, obviously I wasn't going to accept any kind of work from him, she said, but it was my moment. So she waited all these years.
Wow.
And now she's a somebody, and now she's even a bigger somebody.
A bigger somebody.
Bigger somebody.
Talking about sexual assault and stuff, that Jacob Wall guy, I don't know if you've heard this name. He's a young, far-right conservative. I think it was Michael Avenatti. He was trying to say that the sexually assaulted a woman, and then she never showed up for the press conference. And multiple times his father calls and disguises his voice and says he's a lawyer for them, whatever. Anyway,
does he work for Trump?
He loves Trump. He's a huge Trump supporter. Anyway, he's back at it again, and apparently Pete Buttigieg, who is the mayor from Cincinnati, I forget. He's the mayor. He's the openly gay mayor, married, running for the presidency.
I didn't know he was gay.
Openly married.
Awesome.
He's married. And he's running for presidency. He's the first openly homosexual person to run for the presidency. And this Jacob Wall guy has been caught again. He's been trying to solicit people to falsely accuse the mayor of sexual assault.
Gee whiz. You know what? People like that, it's like, you know what? It's bad enough that it really happens. You don't need to create stuff.
That's right. Don't make
Shame
stuff
on you.
up. Hey, we've got a great interview coming up.
Yes.
I talked about this before. It's about mental health. It's about maternal mental health. It's actually Maternal Mental Health Day on May the 1st, I believe, tomorrow. So take a look at this interview after this quick break.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Welcome to Michelle Roberts. Michelle, this is we're talking about World Maternal Mental Health Day. Mm-hmm. May the 1st?
May the 1st.
Okay. World Maternal Mental Health. Can you explain to our audience what maternal mental health means?
Sure, I'll do my best.
Do your best.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
So maternal mental health is obviously maternal being mothers.
Yes.
And mental health.
Right.
Your mental health, anxiety, depression.
Anxiety and depression. So the term that a lot of us would think of is postpartum depression.
Correct.
But there's a new way of approaching this.
There is.
Because it's not always postpartum. It can happen while you're pregnant.
Right. So the new term is perinatal mental health.
Perinatal mental health.
Yeah. So it covers from conception to 1 year after birth.
Now, there's a group, this is a local group.
Absolutely.
Grassroots. And it's part of a larger group of, what would grassroots? Is it national or what?
No, it's totally local.
Wait, is YANA just local?
YANA is just local.
So YANA stands for You Are Not Alone.
Correct.
Why that name?
Because one of the big messages that I've gotten from speaking with moms, both when I was sick and now, is that everyone feels that they're the only one and they feel alone.
They feel alone when they're going through this. So let's talk, you don't mind talking about your personal experience. You're the mother of 2.
I'm the mother of 2.
You had 2 children in 18 months?
They're about 18 months apart, yeah.
Okay. First child?
No problem.
No problem. Second child?
We had some complications.
During the pregnancy?
During pregnancy and at birth. Okay. And I found myself sick after my daughter was born.
You found yourself sick, but your background is in social services.
Yes.
So you would think that someone who is educated about mental health would see the signs, would understand what's happening. Not true.
Not always.
Okay.
Because when you're sick, you don't always notice. I kept saying, I'm just really tired, I'm really tired, I'm really tired.
But you must have realized how different the second experience was from the first. But you couldn't put your finger on it, or you just thought it was all about you? You thought there was something wrong with you? Like what?
It's really hard to describe. I didn't notice when I was in it. It's really hard to see things clearly a lot of the time. Looking back, now I can see that it wasn't normal to be crying, making craft dinner, feeling overwhelmed, because craft dinner is really easy to make, right?
Right.
But that was one of the things that I just couldn't see past the everyday and what was going on internally and in my head and how I was feeling. I was terrified all the time, but I didn't realize how bad it was until I started to get better.
A lot of it is the build-up, right? So you've got 9 months of gestation where you're just like pumping up. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, well, that's what you hear, right? That's what you see in TV and in the movies, all these perfect glowing pregnant moms with their perfect little bellies and their outfits, and it's all perfect and wonderful. And sometimes it's not.
No.
Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's dark and it can be scary.
And you discovered there were gaps in service.
There are, unfortunately.
This was 7 years ago for you.
Yes.
You said 7 years ago when you were going through it, you didn't know where to turn.
No. So I just started making phone calls. I called APH and they did a screening with me and they said, yeah, I think you really need to talk to someone. And I did.
At Algoma Public Health. So
Yeah.
Was that Sharon Vanderberg? You're talking about Sharon.
I called the Parent-Child Information Line first.
Okay, so they amazing services through APH.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Sharon, you mentioned Sharon's name to me in pre-interview.
Yeah.
Sharon's retired now from APH, but how was she involved in?
Sharon's been, and a lot of people in the Sioux actually have been a big part of trying to change things for perinatal mental health back then, postpartum.
Right.
There was a coalition, I guess, and they'd been working diligently, and they became the advisory committee for the Northern Ontario Postpartum Mood Disorder Project,
Okay.
which YANA was born out of. And then when one project ended, we had gained so much momentum between the two projects that we rolled everything into one and became YANA.
YANA. There's a lot of, there's so much stuff that I did not know about. For instance, the statistics.
Yes.
Could break it down for us.
So worldwide, since we're talking about World Maternal Mental Health, worldwide 1 in 5 moms will develop a perinatal mental illness.
20%.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It is, and it's not mandatory to screen for it anywhere.
That's worldwide. In Algoma, in Sault Ste. Marie?
In Algoma, we're 1 in 4, according to Algoma Public Health's Community Health Profile.
25% of new mothers will suffer from perinatal.
And that's adult moms. It's 1 in 2 teen moms.
50%?
50% of teen moms. And there are no specific services.
No specific services for teen moms?
The research for teen moms is even lower right now than it is for adult moms.
This next one, dads.
1 in 10 dads.
A father suffers postpartum depression.
They can.
Or I guess
perinatal mental
illness.
Because there's a whole range under that umbrella, right? There's anxiety, PTSD, depression, there's OCD, there's psychosis, and there's even perinatal bipolar.
Okay, and now you handed me this, which is amazing. It's a postpartum men. Is that the website? Postpartum men.
Yeah, postpartum men.
This is an assessment, and you've several tools here that you have.
Yeah.
This one is a website you can go to
for dads.
And what's this? SadDaddy.com.
Yeah.
Oh. So you can take this, and you don't want to pass. You said.
No, this is not a quiz you want to pass, but it helps.
Because the higher your score, the more
likely
of support you require.
Yeah, the more likely it is that you have a perinatal mental illness.
Fathers. Now, and then there's this one.
Yep.
Another one this is for mothers.
This is for mothers.
And where do we find this one?
This one you can find anywhere online. It's called the Edinburgh Postpartum Depression Scale. So if you just search that, you can also contact the YANA Facebook page. Algoma Public Health would have it, and Canadian Mental Health.
The YANA Facebook page is YANA for PMH.
Yep.
YANA, the number 4 PMH. Michael's going to put a poster up during the interview. So there's more too. Adoptive parents. How? What? Tell me.
How
did what? You would I would never connect perinatal mental health. What is it called?
Perinatal mental health.
Mental health with an adoptive parent. But it's the same thing. It's that build-up.
It's the build-up, the expectations, the dream. A lot of times, adoptive parents have had to wait a long time before they get their adoptive children, and it's a big life change, and it can cause anxiety and depression in adoptive parents as well.
You also mentioned people who go through fertility.
Yeah, it's a risk factor. People who go through fertility treatments often find themselves
because they're so invested in it. They're
Yep.
So now, in Sault Ste. Marie, when 7 years ago, you said there was nowhere to turn, but things have changed because of this grassroots organization, YANA. You are not alone. Tell me where we can go now if people are feeling that they need someone to talk to or they want to have a group to go to. Where?
A few things have changed. Not all thanks to YANA, but I'd like to think we had a part to play in it. Awareness is definitely increasing in our community. There is a group at the hospital that meets once a week.
At SAH?
Yep.
Okay, what day?
On Tuesdays.
Tuesday
mornings.
Tuesday mornings. You can bring your child.
You can bring your baby, yeah.
That's a huge part of it too, isn't it, Michelle?
It is.
Because oftentimes I'm sure that part of the disorder, can you call it a disorder?
Absolutely.
Is that you feel trapped.
Yeah, there are a lot of barriers to getting help for yourself. Childcare, Parking fees are another barrier that families have identified. Sometimes just getting out of the house.
Getting out of the house.
Right? And then you add having a baby that you have to change.
So now you can bring the child and you sit and you can talk to people who are sharing the lived experience.
Yep.
And you're working with professionals who can counsel.
Absolutely.
Other counseling is available at
Canadian Mental Health.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have a great walk-in clinic, right?
They do, and you can access help through the walk-in clinic.
It's Tuesdays from like 11 o'clock till 5 o'clock, something like that. I think it was till 7, but you had 11:30.
Yeah.
And the last appointment, you should get there before 5, because I think they stop at 7, right? So you can just show up. No appointment. Can you bring your baby to CMHA? I'm not going to kick you out, I don't think.
No, I don't think they would.
Okay, so, and then what about if somebody wants to get involved? I mean, you have done a ton of work on this, obviously educating yourself.
Yep, and with our partners too. We have fabulous partners who we would not be able to do this without.
And that Algoma Public Health, Canadian Mental Health Association, are there others?
Yeah, Algoma Family Services, Sioux Area Hospital, the Pregnancy Center, and then of course...
What's the Pregnancy Center?
The Pregnancy Center?
Yeah, I don't know about that. What is that?
They're a nonprofit in the Sioux that work with women, families who find themselves in, it used to be the Algoma Crisis Pregnancy Center, but now they're the Pregnancy Center.
Oh, okay. And this little card here, okay, so you're releasing this package to
healthcare providers and service providers
on May the 1st. If you're a healthcare provider and you're watching this and you want more information, go to YANA, go to the Facebook page, YANA for
Perinatal Mental Health.
Yeah, okay. And you can get one of these. You're going to be distributing this to hospitals, nurse practitioners, and then inside there are these great cards. Ideally, we would like to have every person who has a child, adopts a child, would get one of these cards, because it tells you all about the
symptoms.
Some of the symptoms.
Yeah. And then on the back it has some quick contacts.
All the contact information. Is there anything, there's so much, we covered so much. Is there any message that you really want to get across, Michelle, before we say goodbye? Because our time is running out, and I just want to make sure that people understand that you are not alone.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have had a baby or you're pregnant and you don't feel well, if you don't feel yourself, if you're scared, if you're anxious, reach out for help, because you're not alone. And maternal mental health matters.
Another statistic that's boggled my mind was that you can be, now recent studies say up to 24 months after.
Some studies.
It can kick in.
Yeah, but definitely that first year.
And it almost is like a form of PTSD.
It can be. There's actually perinatal postpartum.
I could talk to you for a very long time. We sat for a good 20 minutes before. I mean, unfortunately, these interviews aren't long enough, but I encourage anyone, you're so knowledgeable and you're so kind also, to reach out. And once again, the Facebook page is YANA4PMH.
Right, YANA for Perinatal Mental Health.
Oh, and we have to talk about the event, for heaven's sakes. It's Yoga for YANA.
And we're going to be at the mall all day.
Because you're a grassroots, so you don't have any money.
We don't have any money.
This is all by donation.
We do it all by in kind and by the money we raise at our events.
So but the Healing Loft is hosting this. We've had them on the show. They're amazing. Wednesday, May the 1st.
Yep.
That evening, 7:15 to 8:30.
Yep.
719 Queen Street East. Entry by donation to YANA. And I love the tagline here. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you can't help yourself, you can't help. If you can't help yourself, you can't help anybody else, right? So you gotta take care of yourself first.
Right.
I want to thank you so much. Great good luck to you and YANA, and thanks for being here. We'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this.
In the beginning, there was nature, the oceans, the forests, the mountains, and so history was passed on, and memories took shape, defining us, uniting us, creating a legacy that's ours to preserve, and ours to celebrate. Beauty amazing, got a kiss from the sun, and that thing will be blazing. I'm dreaming, dream catches, catching. I'ma feel catches for us run, running the river to the water, relax, jump. A message from the Government of Canada.
What do you wish for? A nice life? Nice things? Or do you wish for something more? A sense of purpose? Do you wish to discover a cure? To write code that cracks an unsolvable question? To further our exploration into space? Or to invent something that changes everything right here on Earth? Well, if that's your wish, make yourself ready. Because when you look back, you'll see that you didn't just make wishes, you realized them.
Well, it's National Truth Day, so I gotta be honest, I made mistakes. Mayor Pete is the mayor of Indiana, and Jacob Wall was trying to accuse Robert Mueller of sexual assault, not Michael Avenatti.
I've never heard that name before. I can't believe it. You gotta check him out. He's a worm.
Oh, yeah. He knows, he couldn't. I think on National Truth Day, Jacob Wall and Donald Trump are both gonna explode.
They explode real good.
What are you going to do today?
Today I'm going to have a smoothie and then get some more news going, and then I'm going to have a nap.
I start rehearsals this evening for Death and the Maiden.
Oh my gosh, because it's been a minute since you had nothing to do.
June the 5th, the new Algoma Repertory Theatre Company.
And now you're just acting here.
Just acting. Mm-hmm. Someone else gets to tell me what to do.
Well, because directing is like so, gee whiz, it's a full-time, part-time job.
It really is, but I love it. No. So anyway, I hope you love your Tuesday on this beautiful sunshiny Tuesday in Sault Ste. Marie.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.